Yo, welcome everybody back to the MPRESS podcast. I would say this is episode number, I don't know, 4 or 5, but that's not going to count because you see, we have redone this podcast. This is a new place. You look, we got a new overlay and we got a new face. No, this is not a guest for today's podcast. This is the man, the myth, the legend, my new co host, Mr. Astro Boy. Astro, what's up?
What's up, my man? How you doing? How we doing?
Yeah. So Astro agreed to hop on this journey, and we're gonna be hosting this Empress podcast. We're still trying to figure out how often. We're gonna kind of go with the flow and see how it goes. Astro, you've done much podcast before, bro?
I've done a couple. I've done some of my own. I've been on a couple for Call of Duty. This is something I've always just wanted to do. Obviously, being very passionate about COD. Just talking about COD just in general it just flows. Something I've been thinking about doing for a long time. And when you approached me about this, it was the easiest yes of my life. And I can't wait to get started. I can't wait to see where this goes and just have fun with it. And talk some Call of Duty, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And we're gonna do just that. So let's not waste any more time. We're gonna try and make this podcast not too long for you guys. We get some good listening out of this, and we'll see how long it goes. There's everything here is gonna be very transparent. We're not holding nothing back. We're not here to please anybody. We're gonna just give you the real deal scoops. Is what we're gonna do. So without further ado, let's hop into our first topic here. We got Warzone. So if anybody doesn't know, Astro is the Warzone player for Empire Gaming, and we had a new Warzone just dropped recently. Everybody's calling it Warzone 3, but apparently that's not what it is. It's Call of Duty Warzone. Um, I don't know. What's your thoughts on it so far? Give us the feel of the new game, things like that.
For the new game, and everything since MW3 dropped, obviously everything's been good. Rainbow Sunshines, we're obviously still in the honeymoon phases, so we're in definitely probably the most pivotal time we can be for the game, because everything's new. We're having fun. Obviously, they're listening, and so I've been having a ball. I mean, the new map, what they're putting in, what they're integrating, everything that they've been putting out as all the events that they've been giving us, everything is just, it seems perfect. Too good to be true almost. Obviously, there's some glaring issues, but overall, with what Sledgehammer has given us and what they're saying, I mean, it looks like we're in for a great, great year of COD, especially with obviously Verdansk coming in the future and stuff like that. So a really, really good year of COD. I'm super excited. Passion is flowing. I'm in every day 2v2s, pubs. Like, you can't get me off the game right now.
Yeah.
So it's in a very, very good state, which I'm happy to say, because obviously after what we've been through for the past year, we won't go too far into that,
Yes.
but
Yeah. Yeah.
you know,
We're moving forward is what we're doing. So
exactly. You gotta move
oh,
forward. No going back. Please, no going back.
and it's funny because you said it right there is that there's a lot of glaring issues. There are, and
Oh, yeah.
as we move forward, I'm pretty confident they'll fix some of those. I'm assuming it's audio, it's TTK, and it's definitely some of these more broken meta guns, which the meta guns are always fixed. Do you foresee the
Oh, yeah.
audio and TTK being fixed soon?
Yo, yeah. Well, I guess we'll take one at a time,
Yeah.
right? TTK easy. There's a lot of different things they can do, whether it's health or gun buff, like nerfing and stuff like that. Because I think that once you kind of get away from the meta guns, it definitely leaves a lot of leeway. Like, you're not dying super fast with every single gun that you're using on the map. So I think that issue is very solvable very quickly as well, and then we can really see the potential of what a 150 base health Warzone looks like.
Yeah.
And that's exciting. And I think that's easy. I'm not really too worried about that. That's just them tinkering with some new options. But it happens, when a new game drops, new guns are dropping. There's just so much. Audio, I have no idea. I'm audio alone, just me trying to set up a dual PC alone to get audio work is just a headache and a half. I can only imagine how audio works inside the game itself. So I'm not gonna pretend to know.
Mhm.
But I do know that this has been a problem for two CODs now, like two Warzone integrations. Like
Okay.
Warzone 2 and Warzone, like we've always haven't had the greatest. I think this is the worst we've ever had it, unfortunately. And so I don't know. I only hope and pray that they can at least get it to somewhat manageable. And thank God we have somebody like Artis Ward
Yeah.
to help us out and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Although and it's sad that we kind of have to do that, unfortunately. But I mean, like, I mean, I'm gonna do it. Like, I'm gonna try and set up this audio. I haven't checked out his video or anything like that. But I had him on the last Warzone and it worked phenomenally. It looks like that's where we're headed again. So I mean, if you got to do it, you got to do it. But hopefully there's something that they can do on their end to make it sound just a little bit better. Because right now it's really not in a good state.
Yeah. No, no, I totally agree with you. As everybody knows, I am no competitive player, but I do hop on and I run some games, and sometimes I'll run with the boys, and it's definitely an issue. Like I am so confident now. Like, rather than complaining about the audio, I'm so confident in every fight. I'll just run up to people because I'm like, well, they can't hear me anyway. It's like it just doesn't even faze me now.
Yeah.
So I mean,
I mean, it's a
that's
good thing and a bad thing. I think that they just a little bit of tinkering, I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna have to do, but
yeah.
something.
Yeah, but definitely shout out to Artist War. The man's been saving the Warzone scene every time, with the audio, and that man deserves all of the credit for what he does. Like you said, I can just imagine, not even for the developers, but like somebody like him who now like comes in after and has to sit there and test in games. Right, you gotta load into the game, you gotta test this audio, and then I gotta go like make some changes and then test the audio. Like, bro, I can't even play 3 games without losing my mind. Imagine if I had to test audio.
Oh,
Holy.
I know. So, but yeah, I mean, those two things alone, those are base fundamentals that I think should be addressed early, for sure. So hopefully, I know that I think that they addressed audio. I'm not sure if they did, but hopefully they do. Like, as far as like saying, hey, we know this is an issue. Hey, we're working on it.
Yeah.
And now with that at least saying like, hey, this is a problem. We recognize it, which they've been really good at. So, it'll be interesting to see how they do it, especially with the holiday season coming up here.
Oh yeah, that's true. Maybe we'll get some Krampus back or something.
Oh no! Oh man, that's
Oh
a
man.
throwback and a half right there.
So okay. This may be a hot take for some. Um, I know you mentioned Verdansk. Okay, Verdansk coming back. I'm gonna give my take, and then go ahead give your take, and we may disagree here. Um, I am not as excited as people are for Verdansk. I personally am not, and let me say why. I feel like Verdansk was so magical because of the time we were in. I feel like we were all going through a rough time in the world, and it was a magical time where we would hop in with our friends and just have a blast of playing Warzone, right? And I feel, and this is just my opinion, is that if, let's say, Caldera was the first map, how Verdansk was, not counting Blackout, but the first Warzone map at that time, let's say it was Caldera, I think we would have that same love we have for Verdansk, for Caldera. I feel like people are remembering the good times versus what the map was. That makes
No,
sense.
100%. Like some of the buildings and all of that, I see where you're coming from. 100%. I'll be quite honest though. There has never been, and I don't think there ever will be, a hot drop like Superstore.
Yeah.
Um, like that, those parts of the map were really good, right?
Mm.
Like Superstore, and that's where it's like it's really interesting to me because I don't know, you brought up Blackout. If you remember how Blackout maps were, there was like sectioned out parts of the map were POIs from other Call of Duties.
Okay.
Like, I think that that's something that would be interesting, a take of them for them to do, because they kind of did it in Caldera as well. Like they dropped Storage Town into the map. That
Mhm.
POI was just placed right there. I mean, I feel like that would be something worth trying for them because it's just really cool to see these integrations of those past CODs and we all know and love those spots of the map. Everyone knows we love Superstore, you know. So why not just give us that instead of trying to give us like the whole map? Because if you remember, like Dam was horrible, Farm was in the middle of nowhere, Prison was terrible.
Yep.
So like that whole right side of the map was never really used. So I do understand what you're saying because they definitely if they do drop it, they gotta add to it. They gotta make it different. You know, like bring back Verdansk the good parts, but there was a lot of it wasn't like the most perfect map. And I do think you are right. People are nostalgic to a fault. I honestly I'll play whatever they give me.
Yeah,
But
I know.
having Verdansk back would be awesome for a while, but a whole year of it, I think like either you got to start adding in new POIs like every season, or you have to you're gonna have to add POIs every season, or you're gonna have to have a map rotation.
Yeah.
You can't have both of them, you know. So it's like I think it's got to be like one or the other, because a full year of Verdansk is I don't think it's gonna be as great like as I'm kind of on that same board with you. I don't think it'll be as great as everyone thinks it will be, and how it'll play competitively. I don't know. I was on Xbox at the time. I was on console at the time. I wasn't really in the competitive scene in Verdansk. So from that aspect, I might actually enjoy it more than I think. You know.
Mm-hmm. No, I definitely agree. And I mean, once that drops, we'll have to see. And I'll see you guys at train station. Don't come to train station. I'm just saying.
Oh man, you weren't even a hospital, man. You went to train
I went to
station.
train station. You land on
Oh,
the
man.
roof train station, hit the stairs, come down the stairs. You catch the guys on the second floor. I mean, train station was my spot. That's when I thought I was a somebody. I did. I thought I was a competitor, and I played in Last Dance of Verdansk for Boom TV, and we played in that, and I'll never forget it, dude. We were in farmland, and I was in a house, and I thought I was the man, calling to my teammates, yo, I got this window, blah blah blah, I'm letting them know. I checked the window, it looks good. I turn to look out the other side. I'm talking in chat, and I get zapped by Aiden through the window across. I'll never forget it.
Oh,
Welcome to competitive Call of Duty, and
at
well,
the highest of levels.
right. And let's just say
At
he
the highest
retired
of
my
levels.
ass at the same time. So
Oh, shout out to Aiden. Aiden created Empire without even knowing it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. No,
shoot.
that's funny.
Yeah,
That's funny.
It'll be a good time. It'll be a good time for sure. Kind of moving on with what we have now. We saw our first major tournament, I guess you could say, today, just today, and as we're recording this, we just got to witness Match Point. What's your thoughts on Match Point?
I honestly, I didn't get to see, but I saw the feed. Everybody was talking about it. Maybe you can enlighten me a little bit on how Match Point works and the rules of it, or how it goes.
Yeah, so from what I know, Match Point, what I've learned of Match Point is been Apex, right? And for Empire, we've been kind of dipping our toes in Apex, so I've learned about Match Point. And so Match Point, literally, you set a number. I think it was like today's one, maybe it was like 100 or something, right? You get 100 points. First team to reach that and win a game wins the tournament. So you don't get to just frag out, hit a highest score and we're done. No, you have to win the game after you make that number. So sets up very competitively. It sets it up very competitively.
That is because then so your play style is fragging, and then it's like it switches. It's like, okay, now we're only worried about a win. We don't care. All our plays are for the win. That's actually very cool. I'm actually excited to see how that plays out, and if it's brought back into other major tourneys. I like that a lot.
Yeah, it was interesting, and today we got our first real taste. I think they've done a Match Point here or there, but today we got our first real taste of it, and yeah, like watching it play out. I think today's game, Joel guys were on Match Point for a good amount of games. I think they hit Match Point first, but they just couldn't secure the win, and it's what makes it even more crazy to watch, because it's like you said, it's no longer like let's just frag, right? It's now we have to win, and it sets up for such a competitive environment. So I'm excited to see it move forward.
The viewership, I mean, and just from an audience standpoint, it's just super captivating. The games can be drawn out longer, just crazy end game finishes last minute. People who and it, you know, like, so when you're running out towards the end of the tourney, right? Like, there's always the Sokas, the Tommies, and stuff like that that are just leagues above. You know,
Yeah.
well, let's say their match point for 4 or 5 games, like you were saying, Joe, what was, and then here comes, you know, Rated or someone like Aiden and them like coming up and catching up, and it's just
Yeah.
like, it doesn't mean you're never out, you know. So you gotta, every game counts, and you just keep hitting it till so you can, you know, maybe catch up or something like that. So that's actually really cool. I might have to go back and if they got the VOD up and go check some of those match
Definitely.
point games out.
So going back to this, you know, the game is still new, and we're still getting a feel of what it's all about, and we have had our first cheater kind of known come out on the timeline. We saw it, right? Everybody posted the pictures.
Yeah.
They're back. I mean, I don't even know what to say to that. They're back. Or they never left, I guess you could say.
Yeah, they never left. Well, we're talking about Vague here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Vague. Yeah, that was the first custom I was playing in it. And unfortunately for Blitzy and who was their third? I'm blanking on his name. But unfortunately for Blitzy and the boy, yeah, their teammate was caught blatantly cheating. Which is something that I think that obviously now that we're kind of getting our feet underneath us and we're kind of flying here, you know, the one big thing is going to be cheaters. Like, I think they need to revamp up Ricochet. It's cool that we have something along the lines. These little gags of making people invisible and doing, you know, Nerf bullets or whatever. Like, I think you just need to start banning these people. Like, and if you find them on an alt account, and I know Fortnite does this very well. If they find them on an alt account, they're banned again.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no alt, there's no done. If you cheat, you're done. Absolutely. Like there's gonna be one. It's not a 3 strike. It's a 1 strike and you're out kind of thing, because that's something that I think Activision has let fly for far too long. They've been very lenient to cheaters. They have really never like put a crazy ban on them, you know. And so unfortunately they are back. And I guess that there was another cheater today too, Seventh Sleeper. I don't know if you heard about that one. But yeah, they were I think Favs FPS. I don't even know if I'm saying his name right. Favs FPS hired somebody on, and he does PC optimizations. And guys, check me if I'm wrong. I could be totally wrong about this. This is all hearsay, but they were doing his Seven Sleepers PC optimization, and they found cheats on his PC as well.
Oh man.
So yeah, I mean, it's very prevalent. It's very known. I'm seeing things about people putting on extra money cams and putting up their OBS on the third monitor, to where when they money cam, like, it's just their OBS overlay on a third monitor. So like we wouldn't even know the difference. So now I feel like in money cams, if you're asking guys, you should ask to see their whole damn setup. Like at this point, I want to see your entire room front to back. I don't care. I need to actually be there. Like, I'm in the room. Like, that's how it should be at this point, until we get a working anti-cheat, or I mean, people start having some integrity, which that's never going to happen. So, especially when money's involved. But and even that, like, there was still another one too, Versatile. I don't know who he caught, but he caught somebody too yesterday. So I mean, they're everywhere. And if you guys are in wagers, do not get bullied by these guys. Like, stand your ground. Like, they're gonna pretend that they're like, you're crazy, and they're gonna pretend like they're doing nothing wrong, and they're gonna pretend like they're the best in the world. But ask for that money cam, ask for that PC reset, talk to the admin. Like, if you really think someone's cheating, do your homework. And even if you lost, go watch that VOD back. Go, don't give up just because you think that they're actually that good. Because there's some people out there that will do anything to win. And I remember, and I felt like I'm talking from experience of last year, and maybe in a little bit, mostly in Caldera. I just kind of I kind of was just like, oh, he's not cheating. Like, yeah, you know, I just let things slide, and then, you know, you find out that, oh, Cyrus was cheating after all. Like, he
Mm-hmm.
really wasn't that good dropping 30s on you, even though you were dropping you and your teammate were dropping double 20s just to try and keep up with him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like that, all that stuff, like it just blows my mind, and it pains my heart for the hardworking people and the people that are using their hard-earned money to be in these tourneys, and that just want to have fun and compete in a game that they love. You know?
Yeah. No, no. I mean, you're absolutely right, and it's crazy that there's all these workarounds now. That's just blows my mind, and it's crazy. It's a crazy thought, but I can see it to the point where now it's like set up your money cam, but let me also see your display settings. Let me see how many monitors you have hooked up right now. Let me see, like, hey, it says 3, but I only see 2 on your desk. Where's that third one? Like it sounds
Yeah.
stupid, but that's where we're headed, and
I
that's
yeah.
crazy.
I remember seeing, and I'll never forget it. I remember seeing Soka catch a cheater during a tourney. And he was kind of doing something similar. Like he had a third monitor on like way over there on the side. And I remember Soka saying something like, "Let me see your damn setup. Like, show me your room." And
Yeah,
I'll just never forget that. Like, you just got to call these people out, man.
yeah,
Otherwise, they think they could do whatever. And it's up to us to be the anti-cheat until Activision steps up, or I should say more Call of Duty and maybe even Raven, whoever's in charge of that, to step up.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's definitely gonna be something that continues to be fought, and we're gonna have to just, I guess, be careful moving forward. And I'll say it myself. There are probably still cheaters in the scene that are gonna surprise people when it comes out. Um, I'm not saying, I think it's this person or that person, but I think there are still people that are in the scene that will surprise you when it comes out. I'm sure. It's just mathematically that's that. Like you
Yeah.
said, people will do anything to win. And luckily World Series of Warzone was on LAN, right? So we got to see everybody on the same playing field. And I'm hoping that in the future we can get more Warzone lands. I highly doubt it with everything going on with CDL and challengers, and I don't think they're gonna be throwing a lot of money at Warzone, but we can all hope.
Yeah. I mean, for what we had, especially last year, I definitely think it was above and beyond what I think everybody's expectations were, especially with the game being so down. But I mean, I would love to see that come back, at least an iteration of that. Hopefully, it's in the States this year. So I
Yeah,
would, at the very least, if not qualifying, which I plan to, at least going and feeling that energy. So it would be nice.
yeah, yeah. No, no, you're gonna be playing in it this year. Come on, we're not
Exactly.
talking about just going to watch. No, but I do think World Series Warzone will be on a LAN again this year. I think they had enough of a turnout to show that, hey, this is something we may want to spend money on. On the business perspective, I guess the business side of things, I could see them keeping it in somewhere NA, definitely somewhere in the US. I can see that, um, just so that the cost of travel goes down. I think because they cover a lot of everybody, all the players travel, I believe, last year, and
Yeah.
to fly, a majority of your player base out of the country, versus the smaller player base. And there's nothing against the international side of things. It's just, where are you going to save money, right? And I think
Mhm.
that would be where they do it. Um, I
And I
would.
also think that
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
sorry.
No.
I also think that what would also be cool is doing a multi-day event.
Okay.
Like one day a COD, one good day of COD is cool, but like and obviously ticket sales for multi-days, I don't know, maybe it might be more money that way. I don't know how much it is to hold out an event for 2 days, but that would be also pretty cool to have maybe a 1 to 2 day event to where it's just like, you do this the first day and then now you carry over. I know like ALGS does something like that. I think
Mhm.
I'm not sure, but that would be something cool to do too, maybe this year.
Yeah, no, I could see them. I could see them doing it. Very similar to ALGS. Since we're doing match point, let's just do other things ALGS does. And what would be cool is set it up like how they do set up. Like right now, ALGS is in PSQs, right? And it's everybody signs up. Come on Saturday, everybody's gonna go into lobbies, right? So we put everybody in their lobbies. Top 10, you move on to round two. top 10, you move on to round 3, and we just keep getting it like that until we have our top, let's say 100 is a player base. Our top 100, we'll see you at LAN. You know, like that would be an awesome way to qualify.
Well, yep, that would be.
Yeah,
That
so
would be.
hey, if you guys are listening to this for some reason, come check us out. We got good ideas here.
We do. We got great ideas. We got great ideas. We play your game a lot, man.
Oh man. You know, before we move on, touching back, one more thing with Warzone. Who do you think's the biggest threat team this year? We saw a lot of changes. Who's looking like, oh man, that team looks pretty good. Who you got?
I mean, obviously we saw the Tommy just won, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you gotta. It's hard. It's hard to mess because obviously there's a lot of new teams, like you're saying. It's hard to mess with Team Chem. Obviously, they're gonna have quite a bit of time to get things loaded and get chemistry. But I think it's still Biffle, and I think
Okay.
it's Sage and Shifty. It worked very well.
Yeah.
They seem to be clicking on all cylinders again. If they still continue to be that team, I don't see really anybody beating them. It's tough. That talent is
Yeah.
just insane. That talent is just crazy.
Yeah. I'd have to agree. I think that team is scary.
Yeah,
Scary.
very.
You know, kind of transitioning here into CDL. How's the CDL looking for you this year? I mean, I can't really talk much about it because I'm an Optic fan through and through, and
Okay.
until there's an Empire Gaming in the CDL, I will be an Optic fan through and through. So I don't know if
Yeah.
I could really talk about this too much.
Yeah.
But let's
No,
go a little bit. What you got? Who you
no.
got this year?
I mean, honestly, I think that you have NYSL, of course. They're the reigning champs. They reloaded with Sib. Still a great AR player. I didn't get to watch too much as I wanted to this weekend. I know Optic went 1-1. But I also do like Scrappy. I like Ultra. I like what they bring to the table. I think he's gonna be one of the best CDL players of all time just because he talks and he backs it up. So it's gonna just put him to the forefront of everything. And if he wins, it would be good. I think for the league too. I don't know. I honestly, I don't know. I would say I know I'm going like with favorites and stuff like that. I would probably want to see Ultra and Scrappy. I'm a big fan of them. But if I was putting money on it, it'd probably be NYSL again. I mean, just seeing what they did to the Gorillas locking in. Like we saw a lot of good things from them. Like so, I don't know if you watched the hard point.
I didn't.
And so I think they only needed 2 points on P1. I can't remember the map to lose, and they locked in, and it just looked like they were back in final form
Oh
again.
boy.
So they look like they're readied up and geared for another great year, COD. Somebody that was actually I think it's Carolina, and it was he was on Legion last year. He's the oldest Clayster. How do I ever forget his name?
Damn, hope you
Clayster
don't watch
and
this.
that squad looked really good too. I mean, they had a reverse sweep comeback. They had a map 11 victory in CD and S&D for their last match of the weekend. So they looked really good too playing. So that'll be exciting to watch. And they're a new team in Carolina, so it'll be cool to see what they can pull off.
Yeah.
Obviously Clayster got a lot of experience, and so if he can put that team together, that would be cool to watch too.
Yeah. So I mean, after Optic wins this year, we'll come back to this conversation and we'll talk about it.
Hey, unfortunately, I just Optic always gets like the time slots where I can never watch them. Like I'm always doing something. So
Yeah.
I think they were playing later in the day for most of their time slots, and I was in my stuff. But I mean, obviously the talent speaks for themselves. Like I think Kenny is like probably from what I've heard is playing like one of the best players on the team. So it's good pickups for sure.
Yeah. No, I mean, we'll see, but Go green. Oh, anyway, yeah. So yeah, no, I wanted to touch up on something outside of Call of Duty and Warzone real quick, and it's something that's been coming up a lot, and so I guess everybody's gonna find out right now because by the time you guys see this, it'll be done. But I recorded a almost like a podcast, I guess you could say, here in Hawaii. We have a local station. They do it's called Think Tech Hawaii, and there's a lady. She's an attorney for esports, and she hosts it's called the Worldwide of Esports, Catherine. And so I was on that show today, and she asked me something, you know, something that's been coming up a lot, and it's about this term that we're in of esports winter, right? I think a lot of people see right now as a scary time for esports. They see a lot of these organizations closing their doors. People are getting laid off, and there's a lot of bad happening in the esports world, the business world of it. What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, there's a lot. Obviously, it's a lot. Like esports in general is such an umbrella term. There's so many different genres of games, FPS, battle royale. There's just so much. And all I'll say is this: I'm not the most business savvy person, but it
Mhm.
only takes one. It only takes one person to really truly believe and have a vision. You
Yeah.
know, as far as it being in the downtime, ebbs and flows. The economy itself is just in a downtime.
Yeah.
So, I think that obviously all rising like the tides raise all ships,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So I think like as soon as we get out of this, I think esports will rise with it. Where it goes depends on who's willing to take charge and who's willing to take lead of esports, and what that means for not only Call of Duty but Fortnite, Apex, Overwatch, just all of it, Valorant, like all of that. It just takes one person with a great vision to truly see what esports can be, because the potential is there.
Hmm.
It's and there's money in it. There's so much money
Yeah.
on the back ends of everything. It just needs to be done right. I think it needs to be done in the right hands with the right mind. And it is scary though, like to see something that we're all invested in, see it not doing so well.
Hmm.
It definitely does raise some eyebrows, and hopefully that someone can turn it around, for sure, because this is something that would love to see flourish. And I remember it's just so funny because like there's other leagues, and I know like NBA sports and NFL looks crazy
Yes.
now,
Yeah.
but back in the day it was never really like that. Players weren't making millions
Yeah.
and millions of dollars. There's a way to do these things.
Mhm.
There's a right way to do these things. There's a right way to market it. There's a right way to manage it. There's a right way to play the players, and in a way that's profitable for the people that are investing in it. And that's where it really is. Is it's not the players that aren't making money. It's the investors. It's the business owners that aren't, the org owners that aren't making money.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, so that's what I always think about. I always think about the times where the NBA almost didn't make it.
Yeah.
There was times where these big organizations where they were at the brink of bankruptcy, and something happened, something magical, someone with a vision, someone like just pulls something out, and amazing things can happen. And I still believe in esports. I still think that this can go very, very far.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I think you hit it on the nose there. I think a lot of people, we need to calm down. We're like it's the balancing. It's happening. There was a lot of inflation during COVID, right? A lot of people wanted the quick buck. I'm gonna invest in this scene that's booming right now because everybody's at home, and I'm gonna get this return, and I'm gonna be great. But hey, guess what? We're here now, and I didn't get that return, and I'm out of here, right? And these people that maybe they didn't manage it so well when they had those investments, it's not working out now. That's the simplest form, I think, for it to be put in my words, for my opinion. um I think it's very important, and this is for anybody who watches this, and I think you understand this, is that from my perspective on like just the business side of it. You know, we're not no multi-million-dollar T1 org, but from the business side of it, I think these players, and this goes for every community. I think the players need to realize what they have right now, and um, you need to stop taking for granted all of these prize pools, all of this big events that are being thrown, because you know if the esports picture were to fail, then that wouldn't be no more. And so like we need to help each other create this community, create this fan base, create this whole thing that we call esports, because we're in the infancy, right? We have the power to kind of create and mold this in the direction we want to go. And I think that's super important for everybody to know, right? And so let me touch on it a little bit, right? Like let's just talk about competition, right? It's good to have competition, right? I don't want to see orgs fail, and yeah, I would like to be the big bad, you know, I own all this and I'm the rich org, but I also need competitors in order for my org to flourish. I need those people, right? So we should be here to help build those other orgs up. So kind of, I mean, something I've learned, and it needs to be kept in mind, because we're so quick to gatekeep information, to hide things, to keep these big secrets to ourselves. And I want to succeed and forget you, but you need these other people in the scene. You need your competitors, right? There's you guys listening to a shit talk back and forth. I'm telling Astro how great LeBron and the Lakers are, and he's telling me how great Boston is. But we need that rivalry, because that's what now fuels us to watch these games, right? Oh yeah, Boston and LA's playing. Check this out, right? Like it helps to fuel that. So something to keep in
I
mind.
mean, Optic and Phase, like that's
Mhm.
literally the most watched event. Every time it's aired, it always breaks the records. It's always one of the most watched. I mean, you do. Iron sharpens iron.
Yep.
I mean, competition brings the greatest out of us, not only in the game, on the court, but in business as well. Like you're saying, our community, we're all in this together. At the end of the day, we're all
Yeah.
people trying to just chase a dream and compete in what we love.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I don't want to bore everybody with the business side of things, so I'm gonna wrap that one up. We've been actually talking for almost 40 minutes now, which that actually went by really fast. And
Like that.
I think we'll kind of bring it to a close. I think going forward, I do want to try and get some community input. Maybe we'll take some like questions or comments, like on Twitter or something. Like we'll start to like build this out where we can have a little section where we can talk about what the community is saying and things like that. First episode back, we got our new
Yeah.
co-host here, and you guys are gonna be seeing more of us. So yeah, with that being said, Asher, you got any closing remarks, my man?
I really don't. I'm excited for this. I appreciate you bringing me on, believing in me. And I'm excited for this year, COD. I'm excited for this podcast. And Empire in particular. The Apex girls. You guys have been killing it as well. And not only for me competing this year. This is just going to be a really, really good year of COD. I feel amazing about everything coming. And I appreciate everybody that watched, that chooses to that chooses just to take any time out of your day to listen to me and this old guy. No, just
Oh, take it
but
easy.
no,
Unrational, you heard that? Old guy right here.
but no, from the bottom of my heart, I'm just happy to be here. Happy to talk about what I love, and I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, so you guys go check him out. Astro streams every day on Twitch, on Kick. You guys can check him out, Astro Boy Hero with an I. We are gonna throw up down the socials below, so make sure you guys check him out. Check out Empire Gaming, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Take it easy.